friendly conversation or participating in an activity based on mutual interest is one of the easiest and fastest ways to get to know a person in a short period of time.
And if you want to get to know a country in a short time, I'd say the easiest way is to fill up your bellies with the delicious street food.
Street food plays not only in Indian cuisine, but also in lifestyle of India. It plays a very significant role. Because a lot of people, they are not so wealthy that they can go to big restaurants or five-star hotels to have their meal. So a general public, they generally go to the streets to eat the cheap and cheerful food. But what makes Indian much more complex and much more round off or much more varied is the sheer amount of spices and the ingredients that they use. Like in Raj Kachori that we have, I mean, you get the crispiness, you get the softness, you get the moisture from the different chutneys, you get a bomb blast of flavors in your mouth. And the moment you eat it, you are like, I mean, you just keep on getting the flavors. Actually, Indian food is about both cooking and flavor. I think that is how most of the foods in India is about. You can't take one out of the other. Lamb kebab also follows the same theory of cooking and flavor together. So in India, the lamb kebab is cooked on the streets on small robota grills, similar to robota grills. The localized name for that is sigdi. So they put lard charcoal over there, and the lamb mince with all the flavorings and spices is skewered on small skewers and then cooked in front of you. The moment you bite into it, the juices of the lamb come into your mouth. It is still spongy because the moisture in the lamb has not gone away. So you are getting the flavor of garam masala, the spices from the green chili, ginger, garlic with fresh coriander and mint in there. So flavor is there. It is amazing flavor, but at the same time, the cooking of the protein, the sponginess of the meat, it's there.
If you love your dish bursting with meaty flavor, then tikka is probably something that will strike your fancy. Different from the traditional way of cooking with yogurt marinated chicken cutlets, Chef Manav used lobster to create his version of this popular dish. The lobster is crunchy and succulent with a tantalizing hint of a smoky flavor, and it's a dish that can make you come back again and again.
Kulcha refers to a leavened bread, which is often stuffed also. It can be stuffed with mincemeat, it can be stuffed with vegetables. So I always thought that why don't I combine the mincemeat with the bone marrow? And then I thought about it, that rather than doing just a minced lamb, why don't we try it with the beef? We tried it. I mean, we just could not stop eating it. Any which ways, in kulcha, we apply butter just before serving it to the customer. You need that extra fat in there. But bone marrow being inside of it and that giving extra fat, oh my God. It was like, yeah, I can't tell you. I mean, looking at me, you can know how much I love food and how much I love eating.
Trying the tastiest street food around seems to be a good idea to get to know a country, but it seems like there's a lot more savory items and too few sweets. Don't you agree?
I think you just need to know where to look. For example, if you're in India, I'm sure you can find sweet street food snacks in every corner. Perfect place for a sweet tooth like you.
It's no secret that people in India have a sweet tooth. That's why there's a wide variety of delicious sweet dishes in Indian cuisine. The mango kulfi is an Indian version of ice cream, which is known for its aromatic mango and pistachio flavors. What makes this dessert even more enjoyable is that it's served with faluda. This tasty experience is something you cannot find elsewhere. With its cornucopia of ingredients and just bursting with flavors and spices, no wonder Indian cuisine is so loved by many. Lots of couples would pour their hearts out into planning and preparing for their big special wedding day. And when it comes to their wedding dress, it's usually a crucial highlight. And when it comes to finding the perfect dress for that special day, the options are endless. If you're hoping to narrow down your search, we've got you covered. Meet Viola Chan, a renowned designer with over 25 years of experience. As the successor of legendary bridal producer Oleg Cassini, Viola Chan now owns and oversees over 400 fashion retails across continents. She's undoubtedly the right person to turn to when it comes to hunting down your dream dress.
Viola, what do you look for in a great wedding gown design?
I would say fit is very important. I also look into if they have a good built-in construction and also where the opening is and the different layering of fabric, the thickness of it. And then, of course, I have to see how the lace placement of the gown, whether if it can provide a visual enhancement to the lady's figure.
So it seems like you have a lot of ideas and what goes into a great dress. So can you tell us more about all the different types of silhouettes that a dress might have?
Well, of course, we'll have ball gown, you have fit and flare, you have short dresses, mermaid, shift, even jumpsuit and suit. So there are many, many different types, just like human us. But I think nowadays a more popular, something more soft and more airy because of the new generation. They are more going towards experience instead of having a huge big wedding. So something easy for them to carry to have an offshore wedding would be the idea. You can see that we have suit and jumpsuit. The generation changes and there are more and more people go for like same-sex marriage. And some of the bride, they prefer to wear suit over a gown. So these are the options for them.
It's great that you have this inclusivity.
Besides suits and jumpsuits, also another type of silhouette and dress is becoming more popular would be two-in-one dress. So you have a slip dress and then you have an overdress. So the bride have an option to wear like separately, or she can wear a long slip dress inside, so it looks more formal. And if there's a beach wedding, she can wear a short slip dress inside, which is like more airy and she can show her legs, which is quite fun.
So Viola, as a designer, what types of fabrics or materials do you like to use in your wedding gown designs?
I like to use lace very much because lace is very romantic and it's very delicate. We design our own laces, so every single gown will have their own lace. So this is some type of fabric that I like. Another one would be stretch crepe. Stretch crepe is more for jumpsuit and suit. So it gives a little comfort for the bride where she wants to sit down and her movement as well.
Wow, so it sounds like you really create these things with the bride in mind. Now, speaking of that, how do you incorporate some design trends into your wedding gown designs?
I think fashion trend has less influence to our designs. Rather, I think lifestyle trend has more impact into our designs. In the past, ball gown used to be in a high demand, but nowadays we go for more airy and like collapsed A-line or even T-length or short dresses. And some bride even now go to a courthouse wedding. So it's nothing really big anymore.
Now, how is the wedding culture here in Hong Kong different to other parts of the world?
I think it mainly is the value of the gown, the way they look at it. Because in many countries, the bride like to own the gown because they want to remember that very important moment, and they might even want to pass it to the next generation. Whereas the girls in Hong Kong, the gown to them is like a costume. It's mainly for pictures. So that is the main difference, I would say.
Every bride wants to look divine on their big day. As for me, my dream wedding dress is like the ones I used to see in those fairy tale books. You know the ones, the dresses that the princess would wear. But after all that, what makes a wedding outfit truly special? I'd say it's those tiny little details that brings out the true charm in your dress.
After the break, check out new ways to take care of your
hottest topics to talk about these days is without a doubt health. When it comes to staying healthy, everyone has their own recipe. But for me, I personally don't believe in sticking to a certain rule, diet, or lifestyle. Rather, you should stay open-minded and flexible.
Health is really about taking care of yourself and having a balanced mind and body. A lot of times people just want to live a very long life, but what we're trying to achieve is improve the quality of health span. And how we're going to achieve that is really focusing on prevention over cure. We can use daily natural therapies to improve body's baseline level and using biohacking therapies that are based on scientific research to really improve people's lifestyle.
What are some of the more commonly seen health issues amongst the city dwellers in Hong Kong?
I would say the first problem is the toxins level that we see in their bodies. For example, they're eating a lot of sushi and deep sea fish, so we see a lot of mercury level in people's bodies right now, especially in children. And a lot of people are drinking water with lead, so that's really affecting their cognitive function as well. So, and in turn, we actually see a lot of problems with sleeping. So people are not really sleeping well because of their stress level during the day. So that's the two major issues that we're seeing in people right now.
What's your take on healthcare, and what are some modern ways to help us achieve optimal health?
Personally, I think modern healthcare is really utilizing the use of science and evidence-based research, and a combination of that to achieve personalized nutrition and lifestyle plan. So here we would use lab tests to find out what is going on with people's current biochemical status, combining with their genetic data, and all of our healthcare practitioners would actually personalize their own nutrition and lifestyle plans based on that data and using biohacking therapies available to achieve their optimal health.
What's the #1 health tip you would share with us?
I would say constantly reduce your toxic level. I know that toxins is really unavoidable in our city world right now, but I think we need to learn how to detoxify that on a regular basis through maybe the use of natural therapies like supplements and better nutrition plans, and also with biohacking therapies that are based on science to remove that and chelate that heavy metals out of the body would really raise the body's optimal level.
So what's your take on Hong Kong's healthcare system? How do you think it could be improved?
Hong Kong healthcare system right now, it's very focused on conventional medication. It can really be more of an outside-the-box kind of thing. So I think that with the current healthcare, they really need to look deep dive into the root cause of the problem, look at why they're having the problems in the first place, and then actually treat that from the root cause.
Staying well is at the top of the list for many people. But first and foremost, we should be clear that there's simply no shortcut when it comes to health. Recognizing your body's condition and making positive lifestyle changes are all it takes.
After talking to Candice, I realized staying well isn't just about what you eat and how much you exercise. Detoxification is also very important. Detoxing your body will allow you to be beautiful inside out.
Year 2020 has been tough. It has undoubtedly turned many lives upside down. Yet I believe there is dawn in every darkness. All we have to do is to embrace moments of adversity and turn them into our greatest opportunities.
The art business has suffered, like many other businesses during pandemic. And it sort of forced us to be more creative in the way to engage the public, the collectors, when large-scale art fairs or exhibitions are not possible. The exhibition showcases work of over 40 Hong Kong artists that were created during the pandemic lockdown. Yes, this is a very difficult time for all of us, but despite the negative impact, we are also seeing something positive. For example, people are embracing new technologies more readily. So we hope that through the exhibition, artists can reconnect with the collectors, art lovers. At the same time, the public can find solace in this artistic journey. Artists are typically very sensitive people, so they respond very differently to the pandemic. Some express their distress and insecurity. Some tackle the problem with a good sense of humor. As you can see in this exhibition, some of the artists actually depicted Vincent van Gogh wearing a mask, or watching programs on the computer throughout the evening. This is very relevant to our time, and I'm sure people visiting this exhibition will find a lot of resonances.
During the pandemic, my artistic life has been quite fruitful and productive. I'd rather have to stay home more, and I could do more painting and lots more time to do my artistic development. If I were to use 3 words to describe my artistic style, I would use impulsive, structural, and fusion. My recent creation in the pandemic is called the Deep Impression, which is this painting here. Although it is the Hong Kong Harbor, but because it's this impression, I didn't really do a sketch on it or a photo on it. So it's more impressionistic in a way that it's not a real scenery of Hong Kong. I just do it impulsively. When I do the first stroke, and the second stroke is the answer to the first stroke. So it's a step by step, so it's exploration from one step to another, so it's more impulsive.
During the pandemic, for me as an artist, it's been in many ways just another layer of stress that was already existing. The inspiration for me behind the work that I've created during COVID, in many ways the names of the pieces speak for themselves. Spiraling Out of Control is a piece that was inspired by the political situation right now. I'm originally from America, but I've lived in Hong Kong a long time, and so that piece really was, for me, a way to try to interpret how I feel about the situation. The other is Once I Was You, Love in the Time of COVID. That piece touches on so many things that are important to me. The environment, Buddhism, different types of material and layering in my work. It uses 2 different kinds of natural paper. One I hand-sourced in Nepal and the other from Bhutan. They both contain natural pigmentation in them, and I built the entire piece around those pigments. I think that artists are part of society that captures a moment in time. And the Renaissance came from the plague. And I hope that what's happening in our world right now will lead to the same kind of change, and that eventually it will lead to a better world.
When we talk about the post-pandemic world, the so-called new normal, I think the art communities will embrace new technologies more readily. For example, a combination of physical exhibition with online or virtual reality tour. So we just, as art professionals, we just have to be more creative and be able to master all these technologies available to us in the most effective manner.
It is always nice to have a bit of art in our life, not only because it is visually appealing, but it is something that inspires and delights us. Art is a powerful tool that brings people together and makes our society a better place.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you want to find out more about what we have introduced, remember to log on to our website. How do you live your best life? It's a question that everyone wants to know the answer to. In the coming weeks, we will continue to find ways to live life to the fullest. If you wish to make every day more interesting, savor the best tastes of the season, kickstart a healthier lifestyle, see the world from a different perspective, or find out ways to look gorgeous, we've got you covered. Join us again next time to have a good time.